Good day, everyone, especially to you, sir. I am Arian Faith Salvador, taking of Bachelor of Science in Criminology. I was tasked to tackle about the categories of sites and normality. This is the continuation of part 6, which is the normalizing vision. Last presenter discussed about the human sciences and normality. As for now, I will discuss to you the categories and sites of normality. First of all, let us define what is category. Category defined as a class or division of people or things regarded as having particular shared characteristics. So, I will not elaborate more because it is more understandable. In our society, if women has a sexual problem, it has a big impact not only to her but the society as well, because people will judge easily, but for us men, we will just give many reasons without discernment. Meaning, female sexuality is recognizable in terms of a notion of normality, and anything that differs from the norm is considered pathological. Pathological is, it means nature of physical or mental disease. For instance, adolescent, adolescent girls who don't take an interest in boys, whether young men in their social circles or celebrities, might be seen by their parents as requiring psychological help of some kind, simply because they are showing signs of an unhealthy interest in the company of other girls. Realm of Ghost World, on this movie, two women share a very close relationship that close to being sexualized but did not last long. Uh, Maybe some of you here have already watched this movie. Uh, this movie, Ghost World. Mm. However, when they decide on leaving school to move into a flat together, attention is introduced into their relationship that eventually pushes them apart. This tension takes the form of one girl seeming to take a sexual interest in an older, slightly geeky male. Um, what is interesting is that the two women can never articulate the attraction they have for each other or the problem faces. Okay. The guiding hand and eyes of normalization ensure that even as they act out a kind of antisocial stance, they reject in advance the possibility of sexual attraction and relationship which would effectively categorize them as abnormal without their apparently knowing what they are doing or why they are doing it. The most the most obvious symptom of this situation is that can be found in the way that two women look at one another when they are talking. They are friends with shared histories, tastes, and predilections. They clearly have an intimate relationship, but it is an intimacy that is not marked or informed. in any overt sense by sexual desire. Mm. Western world are strongly informed both the pervasiveness of the scientific gaze and the categories that are produced by and through that gaze even in the most everyday practices. The practitioner to be able to carry out activities of an intimate nature on other people is the notion and authority of pure and disinterested nature of the gaze and its accompanying movements, gestures, touch, touches, and comments. Most importantly, the sight and its activities are theoretically neutral and detached. And above all else, devoid of any kind of pleasure or enjoyment. The clinic or the medical practice is a public site of intimacy and control that is supposed to be without regard to notions of private desire normally applied to the way we see physically intimate behavior. In short, gaze is powerful thing for humans to have connections, whether it is intimate relationship or not. Some of us is very responsive towards the way other look at us. The way they gaze, either it is positive or negative response. Um, The gaze associated with the normalizing visual regime is not only meant to discover the truth of the world through the processes of observation, analysis, diagnosis, and prescription. It also works, at least theoretically, to shape it. For instance, the adoption of the scientific gaze is meant toward of desire. This is applied not only to medicine but to other fields also like teaching, for example, like the movie The Meaning of Life. The neutrality and disinterestedness of the scientific gaze is meant to entail the object being scrutinized of any destabilizing excitement, attraction for the viewer, except that which is associated with scientific curiosity and discovery. Hence, the teacher and the school students say nothing but mechanical activities devoid of human content. Uh, every field of profession are very proficient to do job accordingly. Uh, that's why every profession has this what we call code of ethics to guide them to become more professional in their field and to do the right thing and and not to rude to their clients. The same regime supposedly characterizes characterize other public sites such as courtrooms, judges, lawyers, and juries, and supposedly view an alleged crime in much the same way as a scientist observes a dissected corpse and are meant to sentence, prosecute, and convict a criminal as if they were addressing, solving, and writing up a scientific problem. The centrality and authority of scientific approaches in social fields is carried over into the way categories of saying confirm every reality. That's the end of my report. Let me share to you the quote of Walt Whitman. Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. And that's all. Thank you. And God bless. Keep safe, everyone.